What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Auto Auction Rebuild. So today we are going to run through everything that's happened with the city of Del City, the owner of the shop, and myself, and the police. I know some of you saw the videos, you wondered why I took them down. There's speculation that I got arrested, that I've been charged with something. Lots of speculation going around on YouTube. So after yesterday, I wasn't going to make a video, I was just going to drop the whole thing. But after yesterday, I had the owner of the shop in my face trying to fight me. That dude's like 60 years old. He's got them glasses like your granny would have had, you know, the glasses that are curved up. He's just some khaki shorts and this, this is the least intimidating. I'm telling you right now, I would have been more afraid of Steve Urkel than I would have been of this dude.
Did I do that?
But I mean, I give him props. He tried to be intimidating. He tried to be really scary. But it was almost comical the way everything went down yesterday. Now, I want to tell you right now, after everything that's gone down, all I wanted to do was leave this whole thing alone and be done with it. And after this video, unless something else comes up, unless something else major happens, I am absolutely done. But I was driving down Reno, because there's a little bit of a backstory to this. I was driving down Reno, going past a shop, which I do on a regular basis to get to Copart. Okay, there's a lot of places that I take Reno down to. Now, this shop is condemned. All right, there's no question about that. The building is condemned, and according to the paperwork, the notice on the structure says condemned illegal structure, period. The interesting thing is, the shop is still mine. I have a lease on that shop until the 15th. So as of you seeing this video, that shop is still mine. This dude put a for rent sign outside of it. He's trying to rent it out to somebody else. And I sat there thinking, should I leave it alone? And maybe I should have. But I'm the type of guy, I don't like to see people getting ripped off. And if I can help you save money, save time, save headache, hassle, save you from getting ripped off from my own experiences, and by God, I'm going to do what I can do to help my fellow man. That's what I do. That's the type of person I am. Always been that way. So I see the for rent sign, and not only is there a for rent sign, I see no less than three different three different cars pull in there. And they get out and they're separate times, of course. They're looking at the building. I sat there with my brother and I watched this and I said, some poor unsuspecting person is going to get into the same mess. That building is currently condemned. You can't even open the door and go inside of it. That is illegal to even open the front door until you get the issue resolved with the city. So I called the city. I did. I called the city and I said, hey, the condemned sign has been removed from the door. So I don't want to say the owner did it. I don't know who did it, but somebody removed the condemned sign from the door and stuck a for rent sign out. The for rent sign has the owner's phone number. Huh. I mean, 1 + 1 = this many, right? I think we can pretty much figure out how that all went down. So the shop looks like, hey, it's just a shop ready to rent, right? That just made me real mad. That made me real mad because now I know that he knows. Before, I didn't know that he knew. All right? The city told me, and one of our conversations, the city told me that they have had problems with this man renting out that building in the past for people to do illegal business in. People using it as I think somebody tried using it as a car lot once. That didn't work out. Somebody tried using it as a mechanic shop. That didn't work out. So the guy knows about this, and he continues renting it out. Now, according to him, when he showed up yesterday, he's got all this money. He's a very wealthy guy. I mean, just so wealthy. It's unbelievable how much money this man has. And he looked at me, and he said, I own this whole block. I own this whole block. What do you own? And I looked at him and I said, well, congratulations, you own a whole bunch of crap. It wasn't quite that nice, but yeah, the dude owns a bunch of they're really nasty, falling apart storage buildings, basically. These are all places that should be condemned and probably already are condemned, and he owns all of it, the whole block. And I'm like, well, I mean, good for you. You own an entire block full of crap that the city's trying to shut you down on, and he's got them all up for sale. Even he doesn't want the crap that he owns. And he started talking trash about, what I do for a living, YouTube and selling cars. And I was like, for a guy that's so successful, I mean, you have a hole-in-the-wall car lot, in Midwest City. I after a lifetime of work, that's your big accomplishment, is you have a car lot, a small car lot with average cars. Okay, hey, props to you, man. Congratulations, whatever. But I called the city and I decided I was going to meet with one of the city people that came out, if they showed up, and he did. The guy showed up and he was a nice guy. I expected he was going to be a real, I figured he wasn't going to be very polite. I really did. And let me tell you something, this guy went above and beyond the call of duty, and I have a whole new respect for him and for the city of Del City. So much so that I apologized to him. And even in this video, I want it to be known, this is a formal apology to the city of Del City. Apparently, I had my wires crossed. Now, I will state for the record, it was my fault that I didn't get the permits, the proper permits. That is absolutely my fault. And I'll sit here and be honest with you, I was ignorant about it. I didn't know I had to have a permit to do my own private thing in a building. You know, it was a rundown building. I didn't really think it was a big deal. I didn't think I had to get a permit. I would have never thought, I've never had a shop before. Truth, I've never had a shop. I didn't know. But ignorance is no excuse for breaking the law or for violating city ordinances, right? I mean, it is what it is. They got their rules for a reason. And this isn't their first rodeo with that shop. All right, so as much as I'm still upset that I feel like I just couldn't shake them off my back, there are rules that have to be followed. And after talking to him yesterday, he told me, he said, we did not intend to run you out of town. We just need to get the paperwork done. Like, the building has to have the paperwork done, and it has to be inspected by the fire marshal. Now, you know and I know that building's not going to pass code. It's not going to pass. It will not pass. There's no possible way that location could pass. There's an open breaker box outside with corroded wet wires, the main pole going to the shop. No way that place is going to pass code. There's wires in the ceiling that are just hanging. That place would, and it floods. Electricity and flood water don't really go well together. So there is no possible way that building would ever pass a fire marshal inspection. I told the city guy that. I said, you know, I could have done the permit. We could have worked through all that. I said, but does the fire marshal have to come out? Like, is that part of the deal? He said, of course. I said, yeah, the fire marshal's going to come out and check everything. I said, at the end of the day, I still couldn't have kept the shop. It wasn't possible. I said, there's no way this place would pass fire marshal inspection. I told him, I said, it floods, the roof leaks, the walls leak, and there's exposed wires everywhere. You know, there's no way a fire marshal's going to approve a place like that. So regardless, I was going to lose that shop. And he explained to me that they have to have the fire marshal come out because he said, think about it, man. He said, you're going to have all your tools, all your equipment in there. He said, aren't you worried about the place burning down, catching fire with all your stuff in it? He said, that's the city's job, is to make sure these places are safe for occupancy. And again, big shout out to, I can't remember the guy's name that came out there yesterday, but like he really took his time to break it down for me as he was putting another condemn notice on. Well, I let the owner of the shop know that now I know it's not the city that was after me. It was him constantly violating the city ordinances, breaking the law, basically. And that had the city stirred up like a hornet's nest, man. They're tired of dealing with him. They really are. And he keeps doing it. And for a guy that's got so much money, he pointed that out too. He's got so much money. Let me tell you, somebody that talks about how much money they have 24/7, they usually don't have a pot to piss in. All right, I know the dude has an ex-wife, so I'm guessing, judging by his demeanor, his attitude, I'm guessing his ex-wife left him, and she got the house. He told me that she got the house, and I guess he got that little car lot and those little storage buildings on the street there. I don't feel sorry for the man at all. I understand 100% why that lady would have left him. Speculating, of course. I don't know for sure, but it's just a guess. But, he's talking about all this money that he's got, and it's like, dude, you keep barking about your money, your money, your money, your money. I almost feel sorry for a dude like that. Like, I live in a nice area. I have enough money to be comfortable, but I ain't going to go out there and try to put other people down, try to put people down there out there trying to work and make a living on their own, make it seem like I'm better than them. I ain't no better than anybody else. And that man is no better than me. He's no better than you. He's no better. I don't care if he lives in the mountains of Scottsdale, Arizona, which according to him he does. He's got pictures of him and President Trump. He's got him with, he's got a picture of him with, who else, man? Jay Leno. Yeah, Jay Leno. Like, you looking at his pictures, it seems like the dude is well-to-do. Or maybe he was at one time and he's not anymore. Honestly, though, I don't care. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care if you're a millionaire. I like people for who they are, man. And I don't like them for who they are. If you're a D-bag, I don't like you. I don't care how much money you got. Or alternatively, you could be the brokest person on the face of this earth that'll give a man the shirt off your back. And I love you to death. That's just me. I don't care about your money or how much or how little you got. And he just kept trying to run me down. The dude got up in my face. Now, my brother witnessed all this. My brother was sitting in the truck, and he witnessed every bit of this go down, and so did the city official. The dude flew up in his Jeep, right? And he gets out with his khaki shorts and his, 1980s leisure suit. I mean, I don't know what this dude was wearing, to be honest with you. But he gets out and he's a tall, slender guy. You know what I mean? He's a little bit taller than me, but he's real slender. He's got glasses and everything. And he just comes run up. He starts barking and spitting. Like me and the city guy, we're having a conversation. Polite, quiet. I apologized to the city. I told him I was really sorry for the trouble that I caused them. And, I wish I had known the circumstances a little bit more before I got so angry with the way things went down. And now I know it's the owner, and the city knows it's the owner. So, he just walks up, starts yelling in my face. He was telling me the owner doesn't know anything. He really doesn't. For a guy that owns property, he knows nothing. He comes out there and he's telling the city official the reason that the building's been condemned is because of my cars that were put out there. And I'm like, what? I was like, my cars have nothing to do with the building being an illegal structure. I don't know what you're talking about. The city made it very clear. The only thing that building can be used for is storage. Period. You can put stuff in it and you can leave. Or you can get stuff out and you can leave. Other than that, the building can't be used for anything else. Now, I told that man when I rented the shop exactly what I was going to use it for. I told him I do YouTube videos. I told him that I'm going to be using it to work on cars. I told him I was going to put a lift in it. He said, okay. In fact, he said, and my fiance was there with me, he said, it's perfect for what you're going to be using it for. He did warn me that if I left cars sitting outside, there was a good possibility the city was going to fine me. Okay, so he did warn me about that. Another thing, he claimed during this thing blew up between him and me. Yes, it blew up bad. He claimed that I ripped down his fence, and he's got video footage of me pulling his fence down. And I'm like, what? Please, I told him post it on YouTube. Show the world this fence that I pulled down is. But he swears that this whole thing with Del City is my fault. Forget the fact that he's been having problems with Del City this entire time. This guy is unhinged. He's off his rocker. He got up in my face multiple times, and he specifically threatened me so many times. God, maybe 10 plus times this dude had said he was going to punch me. He's going to knock my lights out. He's going to mow me over. And he said this all in front of a city official. Right in front of the city of Del City. And when it finally came down to it, I don't like a man that runs his mouth. All right, man up or walk away. I don't have time to play silly little games. I'll be the first to admit I don't like to fight. I don't. I really don't like fighting. I don't like violence. But I'm not a dude that's going to stand down and tuck my tail and run. That's not me, man. If you want to fight, hit me, and then we're going to box. I'm not going to hit you first. I'm not fixing to catch a case over this. Not happening. You throw the first punch, brother, and it will be on from there. Let me explain something. This is not a feel sorry for me moment. This is my dad beat the living hell out of me a good portion of my life. All right. He taught me how to fight, and he taught me how to take a beating. And believe it or not, knowing how to take a licking is just as important as knowing how to throw a punch. All right. Sometimes you can't win the battle, and you just got to know how to take a licking. I can take it. I can absolutely get beaten down and I get up and walk away. Or, you know, transport to the hospital, I get up a few days, walk away. Whatever the case is, it is what it is. You know, you're not going to see me pulling a knife. I'm not going to pull a gun, bring a gun to a fist fight or something like that. You know, that's not me. That's just stupid. But this dude was in my face. Like, I'm talking up in my grill. And when someone's in my face barking at me, I'll be honest with you, I want to hit. Like, my first instinct is to just punch you right in your mouth and shut you up. But I know that you can't, you know, I'm grown. You can't do stuff like that, man. You can't just hit people when they haven't actually done anything to you yet. So he kept barking and yelling and barking about how he's going to do this. He's going to beat me up. And I'm just like, are we in like 6th grade or something? Like I finally, man, I got so mad. I threw my hands up in the air like this and I just screamed. I said, then do something. I said, shut up and do something. Jesus, quit talking about it. It's like his money. Talk about his money. Talk about how he's going to beat me up. The man won't do anything. He's a coward. He's a punk. And if he does have money, he hides behind his money. I hate guys like that. What a sad excuse for a human being. Now, I'm going to conclude this video with the story of the police. What happened with the police. That's another thing, man. You know, the guy that I met yesterday was a nice guy, and he watched some of my videos on YouTube, he told me, you know, from the city. And he was a nice dude. In fact, he was so nice that he got in the middle of us. Like, when old boy and me, when I thought it was really about to go down, when we were really about to square off, like, I really thought this was going to happen. That dude walked right in between us, man. And he's not a big guy or anything, but I mean, this dude put himself in danger, not by me. I wasn't going to swing first, but that other guy was heated. I mean, he was just jumping up and down, barking, screaming, yelling, cussing. And that dude jumped right in the middle of him and me, and he pushed both of us back. And he said, this is going to stop right now. So I wish I could remember his name. I'd love to give him a shout out. But that dude right there was more of a man than the guy barking at everybody. You know what I mean? I really appreciate that. He stepped in. He stepped up. And he may have prevented a fight, you know, a physical altercation between the owner of the shop and well, he owns a shop, he owns a few things. That impressed me. That impressed me for him to put himself in the middle of that like that. That was, I really do appreciate that. I really do. Now, with the police, the video that I did where I told everybody, I gave out the phone number and the email address to the lady in Del City, who I also apologize to, the whole city. I truly apologize for everything. I really do. This whole thing could have been avoidable, and I could have done things different, and I wish I had have, and I'm truly sorry for that. The police called me the day after I made that video, and it was the police captain for the city of Del City, and he was a very nice and respectful guy, and that is how you talk to me. You know, if you want me to give you respect, to show respect, you got to show me some respect, man. And he was just a genuinely nice guy. He called me. He said, all right, you know, you got your point across. You flooded the emails. You know, we can't get anything done. The voicemails are full. The phone lines are ringing off the hook. You know, he said, you didn't do anything illegal. That was the big thing. I didn't do anything wrong. I wasn't threatened. He didn't try to arrest me. He had a conversation with me. A rational, reasonable, grown-up conversation. The police captain said, you didn't do anything wrong, but he said you did get your point across. He said the problem is there are people from YouTube that are actually committing felonies. Some of your subscribers are calling and they're making very nasty threats against the lady and against the city of Del City, to the point where they had to pull police officers off of the streets and put them at Del City, City Hall or whatever. Even though most likely it was just empty threats, they don't take threats like that lightly. You know, they can't. They have to protect people. So they had to pull people off the street and put them over at City Hall. And he said, you know, is there any way we could take that video down and end this? You know? And when I realized how serious that was, I absolutely pulled down the video immediately, no questions asked. And I told him, you know, I told him I was sorry for that kind of an inconvenience. That's not what I expected. And I know there's going to be a lot of arguments and speculation going around in the comment section about I knew what was going to happen or I didn't know what was going to happen. And you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, because I know that I would never knowingly put somebody's life at risk over money. A shop, money, YouTube, never. I don't care about money that much. And I feel real sorry for people that hold money in such a high regard. You can be my worst enemy, but you know, I ain't going to have you knocked off or something over finances. It's, to me, it's stupid, man. To mess up somebody's life or take a life even over any amount of money. For me, even the person that I say that I dislike the most in this world, I wouldn't wish death upon that person. And no money is worth somebody's life. Life is too precious. Life is too precious. So, I did what the police captain asked me to do. And I took that video down because it was the right thing to do, and I have apologized. And hopefully, you know, the guy that was out there with me yesterday from the city said, you know, if you find another place in Del City, you know, come talk to us. You know, talk to us first, and you know, before you get the place, so we can make sure everything is on the up and up. And I appreciate that. I appreciate him taking time out of his day to stop and talk to me and explain things to me. And I appreciate you know, him stepping in between me and that dude, because it wasn't me that was the aggressor at all. You know, I was literally standing there having a conversation with that guy when this dude rolled up. And I guess last thing, old boy rolled up. He told me I was trespassing on his property. And I laughed and I said, for a guy that's got so much money and is so used to signing contracts, you should really go back and take a look at our lease. Because this shop is mine until the 15th, and you're trying to rent it out. And I got a picture of it, you know. I got a picture with the geolocation and the date and time and everything. Like, you're literally trying to rent my shop out, and you're standing on my property that I paid for, threatening me. You know, you're literally standing on my property that I have paid for, and you are threatening me. So I told him, come back in 2 days, and the property's yours again. And he pulled up his for rent sign, threw it in the back of his truck. It was a crazy experience. I've had some interesting encounters in life, and I really debated whether I wanted to make this video or not. You know, I don't really want to. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm getting tired of the drama, and this is just more drama. But hopefully, this brings some closure to a lot of the questions that you guys had about what happened with the city, about what happened with the police, and now what's been going on with the owner of the shop as well. For me, I feel like this concludes the story. You know, everything is full circle now. Now we know that it wasn't the city. We know it's the owner that's just been doing this to people over and over again. And the owner said that his last tenant was there 5 years. But that's interesting, because the city of Del City told me that 2 years ago they had to get on to him about somebody using that place as a mechanic shop. So the owner's a car salesman, man. He owns a small hole-in-the-wall dealership, and he's made threats to me too. He's threatened to call the state of Oklahoma. Okay, I could talk for hours on this. He threatened to call the state because you guys remember the state sued me. And if you guys remember, if you go back enough in the videos, you'll see I voluntarily signed an injunction by the state, because the state of Oklahoma and I worked out an agreement. We worked out a deal. Y'all were there. You saw the drama unfold. I met with all of the people up there at the Tax Commission, Used Motor Vehicle Commission. I met with them in person. We sat down at a table. We talked. We figured it all out. And everything is on the up and up because I work with Mike now. Now, that's been squashed. That's been settled. And this dude, this old guy, gets on the computer and pulls up that injunction. And he sends me a screenshot. And he's like, one more word from you, I'm calling the Tax Commission. I'm going to call Joe over there, and I'm going to tell him. And I was like, I'm just sitting here laughing. I'm like, this dude has no clue. No clue. I was like, call him. Call him. Tell him Randy from Auto Auction Rebuilds on YouTube said hi. And I meant that in a genuine way, because they're nice people over there. You know, it's not nice when you're on the wrong end of them, believe that. But when you have things worked out and you're doing what you're supposed to do and you're following the rules, there's no reason to be scared of the Tax Commission, no reason to be scared of the state. You know, we hashed it out and we eventually worked it out. But this poor old sap, he don't know that. You know, he has no idea. He thinks he's looking for some way that he can do something to screw up my life. And I'm sitting back because I'm a good guy. I try to do right by people. But if you screw me, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure you pay for that in a legal manner, of course. I'm not going to do anything illegal or off the wall. I'm not going to come beat you up like this guy. This guy. Like, who says that? Who says I'm going to beat you up? I felt like, dude, do I need to go stand by the flagpole or something? I mean, are we going to hash this out at 3:30 when the bell rings? It was really childish. It was immature. And we got to get past all this. So I'm going out, hopefully today, to try to go look at a potential property. It's got a house. It's got some acreage. It's got a pond. And it's so far outside city limits, it's ridiculous. I don't really want the house, I don't think. But I want the land, and I think we could put a shop there. So maybe in a couple days we can bring you some video footage of what I found. I don't know anything about it. I just know the price it's really cheap for what it is, and it's something I can afford. And we'll see what happens. So stay safe out there, everybody. Comment below what you think, whether you like it, you dislike it, what you think of the whole situation. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing. We're going to get past all this drama, and we're going to get on with life, because life is too short to be dealing with all this. Stay safe out there, everybody. I got a garbage truck in the background. We will catch you all very soon in the next one.